Today I'm going to be making something really yummy and delicious, and these are my butter tarts with raisins. So let's get on with the ingredients. 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, 1/4 cup of cold butter cut into cubes, 1/4 cup of vegetable shortening cut in cubes, 1 teaspoon of vinegar, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1 egg yolk, and some ice water. And a recipe note, I'm using unsalted butter. If you are using salted butter, simply omit the salt. So these are the ingredients for the crust, and now I'll show you the ingredients for our filling. 3/4 cup of packed brown sugar. I have 1/2 cup of raisins, 2 tablespoons of butter, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 1 egg, 1/4 cup of corn syrup, and 1/8 teaspoon of salt. So those are the ingredients for the filling. We will get to that a little bit later. Right now we're going to start on our crust. Alright, our first step is to get all our flour in and get all of our salt. And I have a little pastry cutter here, also called a pastry blender. I'm just going to mix all that around. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get all of our butter. And this is chilled butter, so I had this in the fridge. We're going to get all of our butter in there, and also all of our shortening. And I've also chilled the shortening. So I cut it up into little cubes, and then I had it in the fridge. And now what I want to do is I'm going to take my little pastry blender here, and I'm going to get all of this incorporated, and I'm going to break all the fats down so that they're about the size of very tiny peas. If you do have a food processor, you can do this in your food processor. Not everybody has a food processor, so I won't be doing that today. Just show you how you can do it by hand, like it's been done forever. So we just keep going like this. You can turn your bowl a little bit. So basically what this has, it's got little blades, and it's cutting up everything each time I push. So now you're wondering, you're saying, well, I don't have one of these, what can I do? And I'll show you that. So what you can do is you can take 2 knives and you can put them in here and just go like this. So you just kind of do a little zigzag kind of motion, and you can just go back and forth, and this will basically do the same thing. Just like that. These little pastry blenders or cutters are only $3 or $4 at the store. They could be $5 depending on where you go. But they're really worth having. They really do a good job. So what you're looking for are little pieces. So you can take your hand and just kind of look. You'll see that, you know, all of your fats are broken down. That's what you want. It doesn't have to be mush, but you don't want the pieces huge either. So that's good, just like that. Okay, so now we're going to get on to our next step. I've got a little measuring cup here, and I'm going to pop my egg in. Okay. Our vinegar. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take our ice water. I'm just going to get down here so I can see, and I want 1/3 cup of water, or 1/3 cup of total volume here. So I just want to give enough water, ice water, and there we go. So that's 1/3. So you put your egg in and your vinegar, and then top it up to 1/3 cup total volume. Okay? I'm going to take a fork and just mix all of this up well. There we go. And then we'll bring back our bowl. And then we're just going to take our mixture and just pour it right on top. just like that. And now I'm going to take my fork and I'm just going to gently combine this. And I do not want to overwork this. The addition of the vinegar is going to help relax the glutens in here. And that's why I put the vinegar in. If you don't want to put the vinegar, you don't have to. So there we go. You can see how nicely this is coming together. And we just don't want to overwork this. If you overwork your dough, it's going to be more tough. Okay? And that's good, just like that. Perfect. Okay? So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get this into plastic wrap and we're going to get it into the fridge to rest. So I'll get some plastic wrap and I'll be back in a second. And what we want to do is make a disc. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to flatten this out. Whenever you're chilling a dough like this, always make a disc. Never put it in a circle or a, like a ball, because it just doesn't chill equally through the whole, disc. There we go. And I'm just going to grab this and fold it up. And what I want to do now is I'm going to pop this into my fridge for a good hour. It doesn't matter if it's in there for 2 or 3 hours. At least an hour, so that this really, really relaxes. Okay, we want all of the built-up glutens that we did develop, we want them just to relax. So that's just good like that. So I'm going to pop this into my fridge for a good hour, and we'll start working on our filling. Okay, so let's get on with our filling now. So I'm going to take all of our brown sugar. There we go. I'm also going to pop in our egg. And our lovely corn syrup. Get all of that in there. There we go. Our salt. Our vanilla. And our butter. Let's get all of that right in there. And we're going to blend this up. So I got my mixer here. Just going to get it on speed number 1. And just mix all of this up. Alright, I've been mixing that for a good minute on high speed. I wanted to just get everything well incorporated. So that's it for the actual filling. So we're going to just let our dough keep chilling, and once it's chilled, I'll be back and we're going to assemble our lovely tarts. Alright, so I have my chilled dough ready to go. I put a little bit of flour on the bottom, a little bit on the top, I'll put a little bit more. And we'll roll this out. This has been chilling for about an hour, so the dough is nice and rested. I also have some silicone muffin tins that we're going to use. I have my little offset spatula that I like to use when I'm working with doughs like this. So we're just going to roll this out. There we go. And I want it a little bit thinner than this. Just a little bit. There we go. We can see our nice little pieces of butter and shortening. Now you might be wondering, you're saying, oh, I don't want to use shortening. You can use all butter for this recipe if you wish. The shortening just adds a little bit of flakiness to the baked crust. But you can do all butter if you wish, or if you wanted, you could do all shortening if you wanted to. So there we go. Well, I'm going to use this side. Doesn't really matter which side. I'm just going to take my little cutter here, and I'm just going to make some rings. Just like that. I'll do 3, move this over here, and I'll take one of my molds. There we go. And then just gently take your mold and just place it right in the middle. There you go. And then just kind of get it right in there. And you always want to make your rounds larger than your actual muffin tray, hole, because you have to have it come up the sides. So we're going to do this. I also want you to preheat your oven to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. I will put a little notice at the beginning of this segment so that you don't forget to do so. Okay. And this is a beautiful, beautiful dough. I love this dough. There we go. Now this recipe will make 12 tarts depending on the size of your tart. These here are pretty large. You can get tart tins that are, or muffin tins smaller than this. You can get them much larger than this as well. So it all depends on the size that you use. So there we go. Perfect. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my raisins, and we just want to put a few raisins in the bottom of each one. And I don't have an exact amount. If you want to use more raisins than this, you can. But you'll see that, you get quite a few raisins in each one. You don't want to overdo it with the raisins. That might be, depends on how many you want. If you really, really like raisins, put more. There we go. Alright. And then what we'll do is we'll go get our filling, and we'll fill these ones up first. I've switched over to a whisk here, so you want to get everything well incorporated. And then it's up to you how you get the filling in. You can use a spoon if you wish. You can use a little spatula. You can use a ladle. I'm just going to use a little measuring spoon. Just going to grab a little bit of filling. And just get your filling right in there. You want to cover your raisins. You don't want to go all the way to the top. This is a really, really good recipe. Super, super simple. Give that one a little bit more loving. And there we go. Beautiful. So these here are ready for the oven. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another 6, and I'll be back in a second. Alright, so I've got one tray here and another one. There we go. So perfect. So 450 degree oven. I'm going to pop them in now, and I'll be back in a while. Alright, these are extremely hot still. I just wanted to show you them as they came out of the oven. I'll try to get them a little closer together. Whew, hot. There we go. Beautiful. So I baked these 450 degrees for a total of 30 minutes. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let these completely cool. I'll unmold them, and I'll show you the final product a little later on. Alright, so I just popped our little butter tarts out, and I just wanted to show you them. I'll just show you, nice and golden brown on the bottom. Oh boy, these are going to be really nice. Now when these cool down, they're going to get a little bit more solid inside. But for now, I'm just going to leave them like this. I'm going to let them cool down a little bit more, and I'll probably break into one a little later on just to show you. But there we go. I just wanted to show you them fresh out of the oven. I'll just cut into one of these. Now let's just take that one, and I'll just cut into it. I'll just show you how nice that is in the middle. And there we go. Look at that. Beautiful. I wish you could smell these. These are really, really, really good. So that's it for this video. These are my butter tarts with raisins. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time.